Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a 24-hour live stream that started as a simple game of tag and ended in complete physical collapse, some seriously weird psychological manipulation, and a pact that was just born from pure delirium. So let's get into what exactly happened, and more importantly, why none of us could look away.
Okay, so this quote, it came 21 hours into the event. It's born from pure, unfiltered exhaustion and delirium. I know, it's a shocking thing to hear, but believe it or not, it's kind of the logical endpoint of the journey we're about to explore. To really get how they ended up here, we have to go all the way back to the beginning.
So what even was this thing? Well, at its core, 24-hour tag was an endurance challenge. You take 4 creators, lock them in a room, and tell them to avoid getting tagged by a hunter, they called him the Oni, for a whole day. Oh, and while they're doing that, the producers are just throwing a series of bizarre and punishing challenges at them. Fun, right?
Part 1. The game is set. First, we're going to look at how these guys planned for this whole ordeal versus the absolute chaos they were immediately thrown into. You know, there was this massive gap between what they thought was going to happen and what actually went down. They came in with all these plans, you know? Teamwork, strategies, rationing supplies, even building makeshift weapons. But the organizers? They had other ideas. This game was never about strategy. It was about psychological manipulation, constant surveillance, and just bizarre punishments that made any kind of plan totally useless.
Part 2. The early hours. Now, the paranoia and the physical decay, it didn't creep in slowly. Nope, it hit them almost immediately. And it set this relentless, grinding tone for the entire 24 hours.
And I mean, the decay was fast. Just think about this. 5 minutes in. 5 minutes. One of them admits he's already tired. Within an hour, they're already questioning each other, with one guy predicting a betrayal. And by the 2-hour mark, another one's complaining he feels physically sick. I mean, the ordeal had barely even started, and they were already falling apart.
And yet, in the middle of all that paranoia and physical strain, something else started to happen. It was this weird, dysfunctional, but really powerful bond that was forged in all that shared suffering. They were trapped, they were miserable, and they only had each other.
Part 3. The fever dream. So as they hit the midpoint, the whole event just shifts from a simple endurance test into something so much stranger. The game's own logic started to break down, and it was replaced by these surreal and, honestly, unsettling challenges.
The production team started introducing challenges that just seemed designed to be psychologically jarring. And the most unsettling one was this twisted game show segment that ended with a so-called award that, well, it crossed a pretty major line. Look, let's be totally clear here. This moment was just a deeply disturbing and irresponsible choice by the organizers. Using that term, even as some kind of joke, is wildly inappropriate and dangerous. It was a pretty clear signal that the producers were willing to push way past absurdity and into genuinely harmful territory just for shock value.
The other punishments were just this bizarre grab bag of physical and psychological stuff. One guy had to wear a bald cap while his head got painted, another was strapped into a machine and blasted with flour, a third was forced to eat an insect, and then another one had to deliver a deadly serious PowerPoint presentation on unconscious bias. It was like watching a descent into pure nonsensical performance art.
One of the participants really summed it up perfectly. He just said, "This is like a fever dream." And he was right. The line between game, punishment, and reality had just completely vanished.
Part 4. Endurance and delirium. In the final stretch, the whole focus shifted away from the weird challenges and back to the raw, physical, and mental toll of extreme sleep deprivation.
21. That's how many hours they'd been awake, under constant, relentless stress.
And at that 21-hour mark, the human body just starts to break down. One creator put it very plainly, "My body started failing me this morning." They had officially entered a state of pure physical collapse. And the symptoms of this collapse were severe. I mean, they were reporting uncontrollable body vibrations, auditory paranoia, hearing things that just weren't there. The mental slips were just as bad. One guy even admitted he started forgetting about his own wife. Their minds and their bodies were just shutting down in real time for everyone to see. Part 5. The 24-hour phenomenon. So, what does all this mean? Beyond all the chaos and the exhaustion, what can we actually learn about modern entertainment from watching 4 people mentally and physically unravel for an entire day?
Why this all matters is because it really shines a light on this unique and growing form of entertainment. It's not just a show you sit back and watch. It's a form of live, interactive storytelling where the audience actually becomes part of the human drama as it unfolds.
See, this kind of event is way more than just a prank. It's like a new frontier of live entertainment. It thrives on total absurdity and this feeling of shared endurance. And the audience, they can actually become a character in the story, directly influencing what happens next. It's like a mix of a game show, a psychological experiment, and a little bit of digital anthropology.
Maybe one of the creators said it best. It's so much better to watch than it is to participate. And that really leaves us with a final provocative thought. In this new era of live, interactive suffering, where exactly is the line between being an audience and being an accomplice?